Hi, I'm Victoria Fabo, a registered dietitian working with TAG Virtual Wellness. My goal is to help others achieve their goals. That's our goal at TAG Virtual Wellness. We want to be able to be there for you, work hard with you, and make sure that you're able to achieve your goals in a safe, time-mannered way. And we can do this through cooking classes. It could be as doing meal preps, teaching kids how to get into the kitchen, working with a therapeutic diet, or slowly adding it back in food groups. In either way, we're going to work hard together to make sure we achieve this goal. Today on the menu, we'll be preparing a turkey dinner, creamy mashed potatoes, roasted Brussels sprouts, roasted butternut squash, and to cap it off and to quench our thirst, we'll be having cranberry, rosemary, grapefruit spa water. We can all relate to the Thanksgiving turkey nap. That means we might have overindulged a little bit on the yummy foods that are on the table. But today we're going to be working on portion control, hydrating to be able to curb our cravings for all the food that's left on the table. This Thanksgiving, we'll be looking at Thanksgiving not as butter and salt, but look at it as a Mediterranean standpoint of using herbs for flavor, monounsaturated fat such as olive oil while we prepare our dishes today. On portion control, we're going to train the body and the mind on proper serving sizes for each meal. Portion control is essentially when monitoring how much is going on your plate. The MyPlate tool is used to build healthy eating habits, emphasizing more fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and including dairy and smaller portions of protein foods. For our Thanksgiving dinner, essential part we're going to be using is of course the bird, but we're also going to be using a compound oil instead of using butter that we might normally use on our turkey. The important part about the turkey though is actually the bottom. Foundation is always key, right? So what we're gonna add there, we're gonna be adding carrots, celery, and onion, garlic. We're gonna add a little bit of the compound oil, and we're gonna add some fresh herbs and dry herbs. So I went ahead and I already cut up the carrots and celery. I always think of celery as a little extra fluid. And a lot of us might not always be conscious of how much water and how much hydration we're getting in the day. But celery is mostly water, and it's very helpful also with your digestive system. I also cut up some carrots, and carrots, as many of you know, has beta carotene in it, which is also very good for your eyesight. So I went ahead and I chopped those all up. So I'm just gonna go add those. And if you chop them up and you wanna keep them in like a storage bin, go ahead and add a little paper towel at the bottom. That will help absorb any extra water that you don't want in there. So go ahead and just spread that out nice and evenly. Now for our onion, we're gonna be adding about a cup of garlic as well. So I'm just gonna add 1 tablespoon in, and we'll mix that all together. Now we're also gonna add the compound oil, and then we're gonna just give this a nice toss together. You can also add dry herbs if you want to. I have dried parsley. And do whatever flavors that you enjoy the most. If you wanna add turmeric, curry, anything you want. I'm gonna add some garlic powder. I almost say you can never have too much garlic. And I'm also gonna add some dried basil. And then I also have over here, I have some sage. So if you rub it together, you can actually smell and you release some of the oils. And you can also do that for any herb that you have, rosemary, thyme, basil, parsley. So I'm gonna take a few sprigs of thyme, and I'm just gonna rub them together to release the oils of the thyme. It smells so good. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just gently over the pan, just release them. Don't work, just go ahead and do it with your fingers, no worries. I'm also going to add just a tablespoon of shallots. Shallots are nice and sweet, and I always love adding them to anything I can think of. When you're making these Thanksgiving dinner meals, think of ways that you can incorporate your children. If they are able to peel a carrot, peel an onion for you, and then if they can slightly, with you supervising and monitoring, see if they can help you chop up a few carrots or celery. It's a sensory process for them as well. Getting them knowing what the carrots feel like, how the celery has different ridges on it, and getting them used to being able to use this food, getting them used to touching the food and knowing that, oh, I prepared this, like this is cool, like now I can eat it. So anything to get their attention and get them motivated, continue doing that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just give this a nice toss. So you wanna make sure that it is nice and even as best as you can. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands. All right, guys, so always make sure you're washing those hands and letting know the kids that they have to wash their hands for at least 20 seconds before you start preparing any meals. Helps get rid of the virus, helps get rid of germs, viruses. Always make sure to get under your fingernails, in between your fingers, on top of your hand. Make sure to do a good 20 seconds. Okay, and then go ahead and rinse. Help the turkey get an even distribution of heat around the turkey at all times. I'm using a stand to help with that as well. Put that aside. So I just wanted to let you know that the brown paper bag that I got from the supermarket, I actually cut it up and I put it under my cutting board. This helps so the cutting board does not shift and move, but it also, any turkey juices, meat juices that you're using or ever preparing, go ahead and put something underneath it so it's an easy cleanup, and then you can clean down the table afterwards with not so many juices flowing everywhere. So working out with our turkey, we have our wings, we have our head, we have the butt on the back with the drumstick. We also have the breast on the top, so you wanna make sure you be working with that. What you want to check when you're working with your turkey to see if you have any baggage in the inside or anything like that. You want to make sure you take it out. Sometimes they leave you the liver or the neck, and you can go ahead and use this for stock if you want later on. If you're making a turkey soup for leftovers, go ahead and save that and put that off to the side. Okay guys, so we have our turkey. Sometimes the turkey comes with its drumsticks together and sometimes not. I got a little butcher twine and I made a little knot and I tied it together so we can keep the legs together. And you can grab a little piece of the bottom half of the turkey as well. So once you wrap it around once, go ahead and give it another wrap twice. This just helps make the turkey look a little clean cut. And take the wing and stuff it under the turkey. When you have the wings tucked under, go ahead and put it on the roasting pan. Okay, so when you transfer over the turkey to the roasting pan, you can go ahead and clean up those cutting boards of yours now. And make sure to spray it down with a cleaning solution. Now that my area is nice and tidy, we can go ahead and give this bird some flavor. What we're gonna be doing is with our compound oil that we made previously, we are going to be taking some and we're just gonna be gently rubbing it onto the turkey. So you would do this if you had butter, you would put it on. So what I'm just gonna do is just give it a little coat over now. My favorite thing to do, I'm gonna turn that around. So we're gonna pull up some of the turkey skin. And this may be a little bit hard. So we're gonna go ahead and turn up the turkey, peel up a little of the turkey skin. So you're gonna just wiggle with your fingers and be able to peel a little skin layer off. Okay, you'll see a little cavity. So it's like the lining inside. So right now, as I peel it back, you'd wanna do it as gently as you can. You're gonna peel back some of the turkey. You can stick your finger in. So see how this is the skin, this is the meat. So this is our turkey breast. Go ahead and just stick your finger in as deep as you can. And you're just slowly moving cartilage out of the way, actually. So why am I doing this? Because we're gonna put some compound oil in and it's gonna make that turkey stay really moist the whole time we're cooking. All right, so I think this is as far as I can get. Oh, there we go, a little bit more. Okay, nice. So, can you see that? Now there's a nice tunnel. It's good. Okay. So with our compound oil, you're just gonna go ahead and just slowly add it. And you're gonna push it so that it will go inside of the turkey. Okay, so we're gonna add it and you're gonna push it down so that it gets into the turkey breast and so that it stays nice and moist. Normally when you cook a turkey, you add butter, but butter is considered a saturated fat and that is not good because it helps block your arteries and it can contribute to heart disease. So when we're using monounsaturated fat like olive oil, we're actually helping limit the risk of heart disease. Okay, nice. So that's nice and oiled. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add some more oil to the drumstick, to the wings, to the head. And we don't wanna go crazy with so much oil because it is a better oil, but we wanna just make sure that the bird is nice and coated so it stays moist. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands. Oil, we're actually gonna add some herbs to it as well. So I have some fresh herbs here. So the same herbs that we use for the compound oil, I'm just gonna be using for the bird. So you wanna go ahead and make sure you rub the rosemary again to release any oils. And then you're just gonna sprinkle it onto the bird. You can also, if you want to stuff just herbs inside of it, I do not suggest to stuff stuffing inside the bird, but if you want to stuff some herbs to help the aromas fuse out, definitely can do that. What I'm also going to do is just dust some garlic powder on the turkey. Give it some flavor. This is optional, definitely don't have to do it. And I'm gonna just sprinkle some parsley over it. Now it's gonna get nice and colorful. And I'm actually just gonna do 1 more tablespoon of oil. And I'm gonna rub all of these together onto the bird. Nice. Nicely done. Good job, guys. I know it's a huge undertaking to make Thanksgiving for your family, and especially if this year you're just making it for just your family. Just know that you're doing a good job, so keep with it. I'm gonna go wash my hands again. Okay, so now that our bird is nice and dressed, we're gonna wrap some foil onto it and we're gonna stick it into the oven at 350. If you'd like to, you can go ahead and you can put the oven on at 450 and make it nice and brown first and then slow cook it at 350. But I'm gonna just foil it first, and then at the very end, we'll turn up the temperature of the oven to make sure the bird is nice and crispy. You also want to make sure that when you're cooking this turkey, that every 30 to 45 minutes, we're basting the turkey. So you can get one of those basers if you have it, so you can pick up some oil and juice that's at the bottom and squeeze it all over the turkey, or just use a large spoon. But be mindful of the steam when you're opening up the foil, and mind the steam when your hand's on the pan to make sure that you don't burn yourself, okay? So just be careful of that. So we're gonna go ahead and stick it into the oven now. I'm gonna go ahead and add some chicken broth, or you can add bone broth, vegetable broth, or even a little bit of apple cider into the turkey, just to help keep it nice and moist. You can even add it right on top if you want. And then I'm gonna go ahead and cover that back up with the foil and let it cook some more. Ooh, guess what we did? Look at that beauty. I think she's about ready. All right, I think I'm gonna take her out now. Thanks, guys. Now that we're done with the turkey, we cover it with foil for at least a half hour to lock in those juices, and then we can cut and serve. When you're doing serving sizes, remember the recommended size is 3 to 4 ounces, which can also be the size of a deck of cards, or it can also be the size of your palm. Try to remember the palm size. Don't do double the palm size, because that's what leads to the turkey naps. So on that note, I want to thank you guys for joining me, and happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time with your family. I'm Victoria Falbo from TAG Virtual Wellness. Stay well and stay safe.